We're now joined by East Baton Rouge Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome. Mayor Broome, thank you for being here with us today.
Yes, thank you for inviting me to participate.
Now, here we are, Mayor Broome, a year later of COVID-19 in our state and our parish. Just reflecting on the year it has been, we want to start by you just reflecting back and talking about what things you guys have done to combat COVID-19 here in the area.
Well, I will tell you when we first learned of the impact of COVID-19 on our city and parish, I immediately convened a group of medical professionals from our hospital systems and clinics to talk about what some of the next steps should be in terms of addressing this medical emergency of a pandemic. And the first thing that we did, remember it very vividly, is that we canceled several large events that were scheduled on actually St. Patrick's Day weekend. And then one of the most significant things we did was to stand up the first clinic testing site for COVID-19, drive-through testing site, I should say, for COVID-19. And that was done without any federal or state dollars, but a pure collaborative effort with all of our local hospitals donating their service and donating their tests for us to initiate testing for citizens in the community.
And
And
you talk
since then we've certainly made tremendous strides in terms of testing.
And you talked about one of the first things you did was cancel that wearing of the green parade, and you talk about that pop-up center. You know, you have done a lot. You did receive some pushback here, but you know, if you could do anything differently in this past year dealing with COVID-19, what would you do differently, if there's anything?
Um, I'll be honest, I have reflected on our response to COVID-19, and I can't think of anything I would do differently. As I said, we stood up the community testing site. We called together first our hospitals to create a unified response. We had PPE donation sites, the mask mandate. So I would say I believe that we followed a path that helped us mitigate COVID-19 in our area and lead. Of course, I would also say that now that we've been through this type of crisis, there are always things that we have learned. And so I would say now the issue around health disparities and the health gap should be at the forefront of conversations as we strategize a medical response to different crises.
And you talk about those health disparities. One thing, when you mention health disparities, you think about the vaccine. Vaccines not being in areas where there are predominantly black people. We work there, you know, we try to get vaccine into those areas, get more people tested. Where are we now with the vaccine rollout and where are we going with it?
Well, I will tell you that, as I'm sure you've heard, over 1 million Louisiana residents have initiated their vaccination series, with over 300,000 having received 2 doses of the vaccine. And I'm in that number of the 300,000 that have received their 2 doses of the vaccine. And contrary to what some people may think, we are not over the allocation of the vaccine. The allocation is determined by LDH, and of course, I wish East Baton Rouge Parish had vaccines available for everyone who wants them, but that's not a reality. With that being said, though, 1 million people across the state represents nearly 1/4 of our state population. And I'm glad that we've been able to collaborate with the state to make sure that we administer vaccinations in a robust way here in the city and parish of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. You know, I believe that we're doing the best that we can at this point in time. I believe and I'm optimistic about more doses being on the way. And I look forward to seeing everyone who is seeking the vaccine receive it in months to come.
Now, you have been very firm when it comes to COVID-19. Even at a time when the state loosened some restrictions a little, you were firm with keeping those restrictions in place. It's hard to ask you about a proud moment considering lives lost and people that have been sick, but if you can talk about a proud moment that you have dealing with COVID-19, I mean, what would that be?
Well, certainly, unfortunately, there has been too much political clamor around COVID-19. COVID-19 is not a Republican issue. It's not a Democratic issue. It is an issue about humanity and the well-being of humanity. And so, as mayor president, I have said time and time again that we have to look out for the health and well-being of our citizens, and simultaneously, it is not mutually exclusive to look out for our economy. But if we don't have citizens who are healthy, if we are losing citizens, then that certainly impacts the whole quality of life for the citizens here. You know, I certainly believe that we have looked out for the health and well-being of our citizens, as well as looking out for our economy by implementing programs like Restart BR, where we offered small grants to businesses, as well as programs like our BR Serve program, where we help our restaurants during this challenge.
And small businesses have been the thing that people have been really concerned about. I mean, what do you tell those small business owners who are still, suffering with the impacts from COVID-19?
I would tell small business owners to look and connect with every resource possible during this season. As I said, we have been establishing or have established some grants for small businesses to utilize with our Restart BR program. There are a few other initiatives out there. One with the state has existed. And so that, coupled with the fact that here in city parish government, I have tried to relax the payment of sales taxes delay so our businesses wouldn't have that immediate bill to think about. So during this season where we're navigating this pandemic, it has certainly prompted and caused us to be innovative and creative in our approach. And so I certainly believe that that is an approach that our businesses, small businesses, have to implement as well. I will tell you, I had some conversations with some folks in the restaurant industry, and they told me that their sales elevated during COVID-19 because so many people were doing takeouts. And so that was certainly a good thing for the restaurant industry. But overall, we all, whether it's me as a government leader, city parish government, our business community, we all have to be innovative and creative and collaborate to be as resourceful as possible to keep everyone lifted during this season.
And obviously, it's been a long year. We've seen spikes in hospitalizations. We've seen, almost exhaust our healthcare system here. But where do we go from here? And what does the parish look like post-vaccination?
Well, as I shared, I look forward to the day where all of our residents who want the vaccine have access to the doses that they need. And of course, my hope is that the majority of our citizens here will get vaccinated. We know that if the majority of our community becomes vaccinated, we will be one step closer to some sense of normalcy. And it's important for our residents to continue to take those precautions to protect our community, like wearing a mask and practicing those mitigation efforts that I believe are part of the fabric of our life, like social distancing and washing our hands. We want to make sure that we limit the spread of COVID-19 while our community waits to be vaccinated. As far as reopening, I think it's critical for us to continue these mitigation efforts until we are confident that it is safe for us to do so.
And you talk about those mitigation efforts. It seems like Louisiana and East Baton Rouge Parish is going in the right direction. So it seems like people have been following those mitigation efforts. Any last words for any people that are out there that say, hey, we're almost there, you know, we're still journeying on? What do you tell them? Any parting words, Mayor Broome?
I would tell them, remember, this is short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Stay the course, mitigate, wear your mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and before you know it, this time next year, I firmly believe things will look a whole lot different and a whole lot more promising, if you will, for us as a community.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.